It's just so devastating that I would crawl into a corner after this. It's, yeah, but I think we've been on the road, I don't know, 2 hours and a half, something like that. They just didn't want to castigate me.
So first I just wanted to, do you actually need this? Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use my teen voice. So my name is Cornelia Funke. I'm the young adult librarian here at the library, and I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out today to the Ovitt Family Community Library and welcome you to our library. I hope after the event you go outside, take a tour, go to all the other departments. It's a really nice facility. But obviously today we are thrilled to welcome the talented and lovely Cornelia Funke.
And late.
Many of you know Cornelia as the author of some of your favorite books. You've toured Italy with her in The Thief Lord, and you've experienced the exhilaration of travel via dragon in The Dragon Rider. You have met Dustfinger in person and walked through the mirror in Reckless. Now she will lead us through the fog-shrouded lanes of England in her new book, The Ghost Knight. So tonight, I would like to share with you how I first met Cornelia. Inkheart, the first in the Ink Worlds trilogy, was released in 2003. During this time, I was in my first semester of grad school in Boston, and my professor had assigned Inkheart to us as a publishing test to see how it did in the publishing world. We were to watch the sales and reception of this wonderful story about Maggie and her father, Mo. My first read of Inkheart left me breathless, captivated by the fantasy, atmosphere, and wonder of the book. My class spent a semester watching Inkheart climb the charts and take the United States by storm. Since 2003, I've been a devoted fan of Cornelia, and one of my goals when I became a librarian was to host her at my library. And so it is with great, great pleasure that I welcome Cornelia Funke.
So, what I will do is, first of all, read a small bit of Ghost Knight to you. That was a book I wrote while working on my current series on Reckless, because that story had been waiting for 6 or 7 years since I walked into Salisbury Cathedral and had a tour guide who took me through the cathedral and explained all the monuments to me. And you have to imagine you're at this huge church built about 1,000 years ago, and you have sarcophaguses of knights and saints and nobles, and one of them is the brother of Richard the Lionheart, a bastard, as they used to call him, because he was not from the married wife of his father. And the guy told me in a whispering voice that when they buried the knight at that place, they found a dead rat in his skull. And I thought, heavens, that's a good beginning for a very stupid story. Don't worry, I will not give you the details in my story now, but that inspired me to think about a story about a ghost in a cathedral. And the story begins with a boy named John being sent off to a boarding school, and not as romantic a boarding school as in Harry Potter, just a normal boarding school. He's not thrilled at all, because he doesn't like the new lover of his mother. So the mother sends him off to Salisbury, which is the old school of his father. And what he realizes very soon is that there are some ghosts that hunt his family. What do you do in a situation like this? I don't know whether any of you have been in that situation yet. He decides he needs another ghost to save him. So I read you a chapter now where he tries to find a ghost who can protect him from the ones who chase him. And for that, we have to forget that we're in California, and we have to imagine it's night, and we have to imagine it's cold, and it's rainy outside, and we are in a medieval cathedral. I'm sure you can do that all in a minute. Close your eyes, just a second, and there we are. We even hear the echo of our steps on the tiles. And John, luckily he's not alone. He has his best friend Ella with him, who had the idea about the night. Ella opened the door. The air smelled of molten wax, and the song of the choristers seemed to linger between the columns. The darkness only made the cathedral feel bigger. It was as if the night had brought the place to life. its very own kind of life. And it wouldn't have surprised me to see one of the saints step off his pedestal to ask us what we were doing there at that time of night. Yes, what? Making a fool of ourselves, I thought as Ella pushed a flashlight into my hand. She obviously had no doubts about her plan. Outside, the moon had found a gap in the clouds. Its light fell on Longsby's effigy, making the stone look as white as snow. He really looked as if he were just asleep. Ella nodded at me encouragingly before stepping back. Come on, John. You have to at least try or she'll never forgive you. I stepped closer to the sarcophagus. I would have needed just to lift my hand to touch Longsby's glove. John, Ella whispered behind me. He's a knight. You have to kneel. Kneel? Whatever. I went down to my knees. My name is John Whitcroft. My voice seemed to get lost in the silence, and no matter how much I tried to make it deeper, it still was the squeaky voice of an 11-year-old boy. I'm here to ask for your help. Somebody wants to kill me, and because he's as dead as you, Ella thought... I stopped. No, this was just too stupid. The flagstones were as cold as ice, and the moon still made Longsby's face look as bright as a corpse. As if it wanted to remind me that I was kneeling in front of a dead man. But when I got to my feet, I heard Ella whisper behind me, "What are you doing? Stay where you are. Don't you know anything about knights? They used to kneel like that for hours." Yeah, I had heard about that. I could smell the autumn flowers on the altar, and I thought of the 4 murderers who were chasing me. And I thought that I really just wanted to go home. Please, I heard myself whisper. The words came out by themselves. Please, William Longsby, help me. Steps. Rattling steps, as if made by iron shoes. I turned around, and there he was. Whenever I close my eyes, I can still see him as clearly as on that night, and it will always be that way. The tunic covering his chainmail shirt showed the 3 lions of Salisbury on the background of blue and gold. Unlike in his stone image, he was not wearing a helmet. His face was beardless, his eyes pale blue. His short ash blonde hair showed no signs of graying. Get up, boy, he said. I remember how stiff legs could get from all that kneeling.